Okay, is everybody here? So good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today. This is a great day. As Chancellor of UA Little Rock, I can tell you that the safety, health, and well-being of our students is central to everything we do. Creating a living and learning environment where all students can be successful is a fundamental value of UA Little Rock. We work every day to create an environment where students can pursue their education, connect with their peers, and plan for their future. But we know that this environment doesn't exist in isolation. There are serious risks facing young people today, both off and on our campuses. One of the most insidious and dangerous of these risks is the growing presence of fentanyl and counterfeit pills. These substances are often taken unknowingly, and the consequences can be immediate and irreversible. It's a crisis that crosses age, background, geography, and unfortunately, no community is immune. That's why we're here today, to partner with the Arkansas Attorney General's office supporting the One Pill Can Kill initiative. This effort is focused on raising awareness about prescription drugs and on helping our students, faculty, and the entire Trojan community understand just how serious this threat is. Our responsibility is to do everything we can to keep our students safe. The reality is that it only takes one moment, one decision, one pill to change a life forever. That's why it's so important that we take this threat seriously and work together to prevent these tragedies. As an institution of higher education, we're committed to being a part of the solution. That means sharing information, having difficult conversations, and connecting students to the resources they need. We're grateful for the leadership of the Attorney General and his team in bringing this initiative to the forefront on our campus, and for being a strong partner in our shared effort to keep students safe. Prevention starts with awareness, and awareness starts with partnerships like this. It is now my honor to introduce someone who has made this issue a top priority across Arkansas. Please join me in welcoming Attorney General Tim Griffin.
Thank you all. Appreciate you being here. This is really important. We kicked this whole campaign off statewide in Fayetteville at the U of A, and we're going to continue doing this at four-year schools, two-year schools around the state. This is one of the many, many uses of the opioid settlement that my office manages. And we are engaged on prevention and awareness, which is what really the focus of this is today, but also recovery, supporting those who have made the mistake of maybe trying that first pill and are now addicted. So we're supporting them. And of course, law enforcement is a critical part of it. But today's focus is primarily on making sure that people never make the first mistake. Opioids, prescription drug opioids in particular, play a role in medicine, but they are highly addictive. And this country has lost hundreds and hundreds of millions, hundreds of thousands, millions of Americans to opioids, and we've been dealing with that for years. It personally impacted me. Years ago, I had a campaign volunteer who was a student at the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville, and he got addicted to opioids and is no longer with us. So I knew years ago what tragedy could come from opioid addiction. My brother had a back surgery that went terribly wrong and was addicted to opioids and prescription ones and died in March. So I get it. I totally get it. But let me tell you, the illicit opioids that are on the streets today are even more dangerous than the prescription drug opioids. At a minimum, at least with the prescription drug opioids, you know what you're holding. You know it's what it says it is. And there are the dangers that accompany that. But the illicit opioids that are on the streets, you have no idea what you're holding. You have no idea what the person at the party may be giving you. It may look like a legitimate prescription drug. You have no guarantee that it is. The illicit opioids that are on our streets today are being manufactured primarily south of the border in Mexico, and the ingredients are shipped from China. And the people that are engaged in this enterprise are the worst of the criminals. They have no cares at all for you, whether you die or whether you live. They are just trying to make the cheapest, most addictive product that they can, fool people into thinking it's something legitimate. And if you die, you die, because there'll be lots of others standing in line to try them and to be customers of theirs. That's how sick these people are. And so when we say one pill can kill, we literally mean one can kill you. And so it all starts with just informing people, educating people, increasing awareness. And we are targeting college campuses in particular because a lot of the addiction that we see, particularly for illicit drugs, it starts at this age group. In the late teens, early 20s, someone is offered a pill, a drug, at a party, socially, whatever, and that's the beginning of the end. And so that's why we are targeting this particular group of Arkansans. And a lot of it, as I said, is focused on the prevention and awareness, but there will be some training in our student training today on what to do if you see someone who may have overdosed. What's the role of narcan, which we have spent significant money on our college campuses and elsewhere, and we continue to do that. And so it will deal with that aspect as well, not just the awareness and prevention, but ensuring that students, particularly student leaders, who will then go train others, make sure that they know what we're dealing with, how significant the danger is, and what to do if someone makes that mistake. I was told that the student training that will occur after this, I think we have 120 students who have signed up for that, and that's a really big deal. That's what we call in the Army a force multiplier, right? We're gonna equip those people in addition to the other stuff that we're gonna do. We're gonna equip those people, and they're gonna go out and be evangelists of sorts for what people should know, what people should do. The other thing that we're going to try to do at every college campus and every two-year school as well, I hope I didn't overcommit money, but we are buying vending machines that will be vending Narcan, and it's free. And so we've done this at the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville, and it's been successful. Generally, the way it works is it's a vending machine that a lot of people are using for other purposes because it's not exclusively Narcan. So we'll have a couple of rows of free Narcan, but then there will be other things that people need to buy at a health clinic. For example, it's at the Pat Walker health clinic in the atrium in Fayetteville. And in that is everything from Tylenol and other over-the-counter health or items you would expect to get in a drugstore over the counter, right? So they're in there. You pay for those the way you would expect with a price on it. But down below are 2 rows of Narcan. And so we pay for the machine, and then we, of course, pay for the Narcan. And the Narcan's free. And our experience is students are taking this, and it helps that it is, for the most part, anonymous, right? You're not having to call someone and say, may I get a Narcan? You can just go to this machine, no one's around, you get the Narcan out. Some people are keeping it in their bag, in their purse, whatever, not for themselves, but maybe they know someone that they suspect has an issue. It's good to have in the dorm, right? So this is the sort of solution that we're pursuing through this One Pill Can Kill initiative. And I appreciate you being partners with us, because it's a lot harder when you don't have partnerships. And UALR is always a great partner. I think every time I'm up here, we're announcing something cool. The last time was the cybersecurity deal and all the amazing stuff you're doing there. So, but this goes to quality of life, right? It really does. It goes to quality of life. It goes to saving lives, the ultimate quality of life. But you want a healthy, thriving student body, people that are making good decisions. And we hope that people are already equipped to make those decisions without our help. But we know that we have an obligation to ensure that they are. We have an obligation to educate and to use these opioid dollars in a responsible way for, as the settlement requires, for opioid abatement. So I'm excited to be here, excited to partner with you. And I know the law school is here as well. And do we have any others? So we have the UALR and the law school. Is there anybody else here that I need to? Okay. Well, we're engaged with UAMS and others on this. This is truly a statewide, multi-level, multi-campus enterprise, including all the UA 2-year schools. So thank you for partnering with me. Do you want to come up and answer any hard questions that we get? And then yes. Yes. Where do you want it? No, I think we're already working on this. Student center is a common area. You just want a lot of high traffic. The Pat Walker Health Clinic made sense. It's adjacent. If you know the Fayetteville campus, it's adjacent to the student center. Do we have one in the student center as well? Yeah. So, look, this is iterative and developing as we speak. We're going to adapt and improve as we go. And if we feel like a place needs another one, we'll do it. If we feel like that the current one's not getting the traffic, we need another training. If we missed, if there was something that was taking a bunch of people that should have been there away, then we'll come back. The goal is not to check boxes, but to make an impact. And so we're going to do whatever it takes. Yes, sir. We can get you that. I don't know if we have those that are school specific. There are a lot of reasons for that, that we may not have that data. But we'll see if we can get you that. Here, suffice it to say, it's a problem. And I think that students, student leaders, other students that we've talked with, and obviously faculty, leaders on campuses, universally recognized as a problem. And it's often mixed in with alcohol, and it often is illicit opioids are often tried when people's judgment is not what it otherwise would be, because they've had some other intoxicants leading up to that bad decision. And so it's widely recognized as a problem, but we'll, Taylor back there, we'll see if we can get you some data. Anything else? Yes, sir. Dean? Well, first of all, they should apply to work at my office, and then specifically request to work on this issue. Look, I think that the best thing to do is to educate yourself on the breadth of the issue, on the prevention side, on the recovery side, on the law enforcement side, and the prosecution side. I think that there's a place, whether you're advocating for recovery, access, whether you are on the law enforcement side locking up people who don't care if we live or die, whatever it is, I think that there are plenty of options. But the first thing you should do, and I believe this to be the case in life, you should learn as much as possible about the topic and let that inform your decision making. The worst decisions are those made without sufficient facts and study. Yes, ma'am. Well, yes. So there's a ton of training available online, including some resources that we have available. That's not lacking at all. Yes. In fact, some of our presentations are available online. But we have found that, and I think there's a certain degree of it's the nature of humans. When we get in the room physically with 120 leaders, as we will shortly, and they have hands-on, because there's a hands-on component to this, because it's to some degree a medical-related part of the training is medical related, right? So I think it's more effective, but yes, there's lots of online stuff. And as I said, this is iterative. If what we've seen when law enforcement, campuses, whatever, say to us, hey, here's a good idea, then I have been willing to say, well, let's do that. I didn't start this job thinking, let's put narcan vending machines on university campuses. I didn't know what a narcan vending machine was. No one had tried to sell me that. It's amazing what they try to sell once you get elected and you have these opioid funds. So you start to learn bad idea, bad idea, bad idea, good idea, right? Hopefully you don't have any that you thought were good and you learn later, probably wasn't the best use. But the point is, it's dynamic. It's not static. And so we're going to do things here and at the next announcement may be different than we did at the first announcement, because we're learning and we're getting Arkansas experience and we know what works. Fortunately, we don't have to make this up because other states have been doing stuff, and we can all learn from each other, right? Sort of the states are laboratories from the old Supreme Court opinion, and it's true. So Mississippi, I'm really good buddies with Lynn Fitch, the AG in Mississippi. She likes Ole Miss, but I mean, she'll have to worry about that after we win next weekend. But anyway, so she's a great friend, and she said, "Hey, I'm doing this one pill can kill at Ole Miss," and we just started talking about it, and this was probably 2 years ago, and I'm sure we're doing it even better because we're learning, right? We're changing, or if not better for Arkansas, right? We're adapting to our institutions and to our leadership's requests. So if you've got ways to make this better, let's do it. For some things we're not doing, we need to do here, let's do it. That's what the funds are for. They're not unlimited, but they are, I believe, sufficient. And I'd be remiss if we've got if I didn't mention the National Center for Opioid Research, which they're starting to physically build at Children's Hospital now, and that's $50 million of our opioid fund. It's going to be a real game changer for opioid research. Okay. Thank y'all so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you again, Attorney General Griffin, for being with us today and for your continued important issue. We appreciate the partnership and the work your team is doing across the state. Earlier the Attorney General talked about the age a problem for, and so when you think about the training, a lot of what we're trying to do is to educate that peer group and make sure that our students, when they come into contact with a negative influence, they're more likely than not to have a positive influence, a positive peer group, a positive friend that will help them make a better decision. So that's what this training is about. The Attorney General said, we're also very glad to be hosting the training at noon today in the Donaghy Student Center and to be taking advantage of the resources available. So it's a great opportunity for the campus to learn more, ask questions, and be part of the effort to keep our students safe. So thank you all for being here and for your commitment to our students and to our community.